Peace and light, that old guy Australia. Like, share, subscribe, hit the notification button and you'll know when I'm doing a video. It's not very often because I rarely do them these days. It's been a bit of a wild world that we're living in, a tumultuous world, and it's been very emotionally draining for a lot of people, including myself. And we get busy as well. The video I wanted to do basically was about the current election that's taking place in the US with Donald Trump and Kamala Harris. I mean, the whole thing is so farcical, it's ridiculous. If you know the history of Kamala Harris, and she was one of P. Diddy's little girls way back. And, I mean, it's just a joke. I don't even understand how anybody could take these kind of things seriously. But they do. And anyway, I'm not interested in whether you think Trump's, the Antichrist or whether he's the savior of the world. I'm only going to tell you the facts about what I know that's taking place and what I believe is taking place. And thank you to all the people who've sent me so much information. I'm going to try to condense it into this very short presentation. Now, Trump should have won the 2020 election. We know that. We know about the Dominion voting machines. We know how they changed the results. We saw what happened. And we all waited. This is the funny part about this. We knew what happened over in Italy when they went and raided the CIA base and got the servers there. We know what happened with the Vatican satellite. We know all this stuff, right? We listened to the generals talk. And in the end, nothing happened. We had 4 years of Biden. I mean, oh my God. And I don't think I've gone through 4 more disheartening years, because it was just like, well, what happened? And people were saying to me, well, what happened, Alan? You had all this information and nothing took place. So what happened? And I can't tell you. I don't know. It was all there. It was all pretty obvious. Everything was happening. And then it was like, here we go. And we didn't go anywhere. And here we are again, 2024, after the pandemic, going through the same circus. I know it's all theatre. I understand all that. But it's like, when are the good guys going to win this? Oh, they're behind the scenes. They're doing this, they're doing that. Well, I hope so. I hope there's something going on that I'm totally unaware of. And I hope that it all comes to a head pretty soon. I understand a lot of people don't get involved with the Diddy thing, but I understand also that is another Epstein situation. So, oh my God, it's such a mess. You don't even know where to start. But here's where I'm going to go with this. Whether you believe in what happened when Trump got shot through the year, I don't really care. But I can tell you this. I've viewed all the evidence that I've ever seen, and there's no doubt in the world that they tried to shoot him. You can't say Trump was a part of it, because he was there. And if you've never been shot at or never fired a gun, then you don't have a say in this. Just go away. But I can tell you now, the main goal is to bring America into a state of civil war. That's really what they want, a state of civil war. They've set it up. They've got the FEMA camps. We've looked at the FEMA camps. We know what's going on there. We know there's over 2 million illegal immigrants, all males, all of fighting age, all set up all around America. We understand what's going on. We just don't know the details. But they want to bring America to a situation where it's engulfed in civil war. And that's the only way they can crash the economy as well, by the way, which is on the cards. Now, I never thought they'd make it to the election. I didn't think they could allow it to take place, because I didn't think they could do what they did last time and still get away with it. And lo and behold, there's videos coming in of people saying, well, I was just in there, I voted, I looked on the screen, because it's an electronic screen. I cast my vote, let's say for Trump. And then it said, is everything on the screen correct? And you go, yes, and you push enter, and it prints out a paper ballot. And people say, I checked the paper ballot and it was for Kamala Harris. It had already changed. So they're doing it. They're just doing it because they got away with it last time, and they just think, well, stuff it. Nothing happened. Oh, we'll get away with it again. So anyway, the point about it is they'd never have made it to the election if they'd have shot Trump. And I'm telling you now, that was only centimetres, inches away from Biden staying as president and Trump being assassinated. And that certainly would have plunged America into civil war, which is what they want. Now they missed, and it didn't happen, and it wasn't fake, trust me. But here we are now heading into this election, and they're doing all sorts of vote rigging, etc., etc. But I've come across some information which was pretty disturbing. And I understand how this is going to pan out because I went and did some research on it, and then I thought, wow, I never even thought about it. So in 2016, 2020, I'm very confused with it all now, but don't worry about that. At the Capitol, when there was a rioting at the Capitol, and the police allowed them in and pulled the barriers aside, and no, come on. And they all came in, and then Nancy Pelosi was being interviewed saying, oh my God, we feared for our lives. And not only that, they've crossed into federal jurisdiction, blah, 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 blah. And people were trying to make heads and tails of what on earth had really taken place. And Trump was then cited as, a person who had incited insurrection. That was the charges that they tried to get to stick against him. He was charged with insurrection, inciting insurrection. And people could not work out why this had taken place, why they would want to try and pin this on Trump, and what it was all about, just to make him look bad so that they could change people's voting opinions. No, it wasn't like that at all, because there's so much footage going around showing the police moving the barriers, allowing people just walking in. So much for insurrection. They didn't jump over the barriers and riot and smash windows. They just all walked in. The point was that they convened the court case against Trump. And they had to find Trump guilty of inciting insurrection. Now, the interesting part about this is, because this is one of many, many backup plans that the Democrats have, but this is the main one, and it goes to next year, where Trump would be seen. This is in case they couldn't win the election, they couldn't rig it, they couldn't get through it, and Trump ends up winning the election. So what they do is, America has a constitution, and one of the whatever they call, one of the things in the Constitution, we don't have one here, is our Constitution's out the bloody window. But one of the amendments in the Constitution is Amendment 14, and Amendment 14 is quite lengthy and it's very technical. It was passed in 1896 or something. But in amongst that amendment in 14, it clearly states that those who are charged with inciting or carrying out any kind of treasonous acts against the American people or the government are ineligible to hold office, right? And it also says the word in the 14th Amendment, insurrection, charged with insurrection, incite insurrection. They had to do the exact wording of the amendment, and this is what they want to do. If they can't steal the election and Trump still ends up winning, they'll then pull out this joker from the pack and say, well, I'm sorry, but you've been charged with inciting insurrection, and under our amendment, Amendment 14, and under our Constitution, you're ineligible to hold office. And that in itself will bring about civil war in America. And that's the goal. Their entire goal is to bring about civil war, absolute chaos, and I honestly believe it's going to happen. How, I can't say, whether it's the Insurrection Act or whether it's, I don't know. I just don't know. But I do know it will happen. And you better buckle up, Buttercup, because it will happen, and it's not going to take that long. And once civil war starts, they open the FEMA camps, out comes these people. They're all illegal, but it doesn't matter, because under the legislation passed by states like California and other democratic states, these people are eligible to vote. They're eligible for all sorts of benefits under American constitutional law. And so they don't even have to be citizens of America. So they'll all sign up. They'll all have an agenda where they owe the government, and they'll all fight for the government of the day, which will be the Democrats who will be trying to push this over the line. So that's where this is all going. I don't know the details. I haven't got a clue. I've been following this for years, and I lost heart, lost hope, lost interest. But I know that I watched the video on this, and I know this is not so much plan B, but certainly one of their many contingency plans. And this one is to incite the Insurrection Act, which they've done, charge Trump with insurrection, inciting insurrection, and under Amendment 14, then they can then tell him he's ineligible for office. But they'll wait until he wins, if he does win, because they'll try and steal it. And that will bring about civil war in America, which is their ultimate goal. Their ultimate goal. That will crash the economy. It will crash everything and bring about an absolute state of chaos. Because whether you like it or not, America is the focal country in the world. America is owned and run by the Zionists. We understand that. The Khazarians own the Senate on both sides of the floor, in the Republican Party and in the Democratic Party. Those parties are both absolutely filled with Zionists, and particularly those with links to the Khazarian Zionists who own Israel, who are running the whole policy there to protect Netanyahu. I can go on and on about this, but that's how it is shaping up to be. And this will engulf the world. Israel will continue to attack. And then, of course, China will invade Taiwan. Oh, my God. You know, there is a thing, I don't want to get into this too much, but there is a biblical part about this where it says that the world will descend into absolute, utter chaos. It'll be so bad, people will never seen a devastation and chaos like this. I'll never seen it. Forget Coles and Woolies, none of this will be operating. If you can't go and kill a rabbit and eat it, there's no paddocks of kale. If you can't go and kill a rabbit and eat it or something, and you're going to have nothing, literally nothing. You know, because what's descending from the skies into the water, into the land, will destroy everything. I know it sounds like a grim picture, but that's basically what it's all about. And out of that chaos will rise a man who will bring peace, who will stop it all, bring peace, set up a new world order, set up a new economy, set up a one world government, and bring about absolute peace to the world. He'll be hailed, and statues built, and he'll be hailed as the saviour of the world. And that's the person that will be the one that is the most evil of all. Believe it or not. Believe it or not. And funnily enough, my lovely wife is a ex-Hindu, and so she's spoken to me several times, heaps of times, about the Hindu scriptures and how they actually are very much align with the biblical perspective on end times. It's absolutely fascinating to think that they talk about the same thing. They talk about the exact same thing, plus spaceships, but that's another story. Anyway, peace and light, that old guy Australia. Like, share, subscribe. I'm sorry I haven't done a video in a long time, and it's a bit of a rabble, a bit of a rant, but it is what it is. I've done a one take on it, and that's it. I probably won't do one for ages now. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll try to get back into this pretty soon. Take it easy.